Hi, everyone. This is Vinnie Tartamella. Tonight, my guest is going to be Sean Sweeney. Everyone knows him as Sweens. His book is Oddity. Give us a nice hello there.
Hey, how's it going, everyone? Really happy to be here.
Awesome, man.
Glad
It's great to have you here. Yeah, man. It's been a while. I know we've been on other streams together, but it is the first time we're actually having a good sit down. We're going to go over your project. We're going to go over a couple of mine as well.
Cool.
Yeah, let's get this show on the road. But first, I want to say hello to everyone in chat who stopped by. I know this was a little bit more last minute, but I think we're going to have some fun, because I've been wanting to chat with Sean for a while. So let's get this going. Yeah, Sean, tell me about you, and then tell me about the project, Oddity.
Yeah, well, okay, so I'm a lifelong artist. Been drawing since I can remember. Just like a lot of artists have, and I've just over the years somehow developed like just a tiny bit of talent, like just enough to get by. Yeah, and I decided to take that itty bit of amount of talent and try to create something out of it. And it actually started when I was in high school back in the late '90s, early 2000s. I I'd always, I was constantly drawing and stuff, but one character I'd always draw was this. Uh, the original concept of Oddity was like this monstrous frog character, and he was like always eating like rabbits, and it was always really gory and pretty insane stuff. And I just really loved drawing this character. I always had him with vibrant colors and stuff like that.
That's cool.
And as I got older, I threw more things from my life and life experiences into this character. And like the shoes he wears these like big red Chuck Taylor looking shoes. I got that from when I was in college. And in college, like a lot of people, I like to party and get hammered. And my friends always yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
I say that I still don't enjoy doing that from time to time, but my friends always called me clown shoes because I was always screwing something up or doing some kind of clownish activity or something. So those are kind of like where his shoes came from. His purple hood. In my high school, it was an all boys Catholic high school, and our colors were purple and white, and we'd have to wear uniforms to school. And the only thing we'd be allowed to wear that wasn't like appropriate clothing was our purple hood, and for our school, whatever. So I always wore this purple hood, and it just reeked of like Milwaukee Best Light and weed. Like it was, and so I threw that on the character, and because my character he's a screw up. He's just a complete goofball. He's a kid trying to doesn't really have any direction in life, and then he gets thrown into this world where he becomes basically or a guardian of this sacred this swamp that at one point had the power to heal. And it was kind of folklore around this swamp, and you know it eventually gets contaminated. And this whole contamination and stuff like that, it's like a throwback to the stories that I grew up with, as a kid.
Right.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Toxic Crusader, all those books or all those, IPs where you get a mutant from green slime. And there's
Yeah.
no there's no
A lot of people did that.
yeah, exactly. Like they didn't know what to do with the story, or they were like, we're not going to do the science behind it. It's going to be green slime. So they and I was like, I love that. Like it was something that always resonated with me, and also I love that vibrant green um, color. So I was
Yeah,
like,
the colors are really good in the design for sure. I think it's very eye catching.
thank
You
you.
know.
Yeah,
Um,
it was all a happy accident for for the most part, but it also,
yeah,
I went through traditional um, art school and stuff like that, so I've got an understanding for color and color theory, and
right.
the that little flare, that orange hair that comes out from his hood. Um,
Yeah, that gives that pop.
yeah, it throws something on to that character, and also um, like I took classes in animation and stuff, and something with animation is you want those flowy, like you know flowy elements that come off of a character to
Hmm.
give some movement. It really helps give it a little animate your
Yeah,
2D
more
draw.
life.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. Yeah,
And
you always you want to exaggerate more than anything else, because by doing
exactly.
that you're gonna catch the viewer's eye.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah,
And
no, no, I totally understand, because my background too in the work that I've done, because I'm self-taught, but I learned on the job,
yeah.
like most of my skills, like when I was designing toys for McFarlane, when I've done all different kind of things, storyboard stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah, no, you pick up on a lot. You always got to mix in what you're doing, like you said, like from life. I mean, a lot of this stuff is you, or things that you always liked when you were younger, and you
Yeah.
just kind of put all those cool ideas in a blender and you come out with something awesome.
Yeah. Like when I was in school, I had this really awesome teacher, uh, Andrew Wiedemann. He does a lot of cheesecake pinup art and stuff like that. A lot of military
Cool.
pinup nose art type stuff, and
Right.
he was very harsh. Like he was but it was good. It was good to hear, someone tell you, you suck. Like as an
Yeah.
artist, and when you hear someone that is well established and a very good artist, and they say, this or that sucks that you're doing, a lot of people would take that like as an insult and they take it personally. But the only way you grow as an artist is to accept that and grow from it, and be humble. And
Yeah.
and he taught me a lot about finding my voice as a creator, even though it didn't come till years after his class. But we did this thing, it was like the wheel of nerd, where we would look at different like different, anything from Star Trek to comic books to anime to all that stuff, and you would pick different parts of this wheel and say, okay, this aspect I can gravitate towards, or that aspect, and then you kind of you create a mood board, or something that kind of gets you in that, because something that puts you in a direction of what you want to do, because as an artist, we're just influenced by so many things that
Hmm.
you can get lost, like your voice gets lost in it, in your own head. And
Right.
that was a big problem with me in college, was I couldn't focus on what I really wanted to do. And this guy pushed me to you know do something that I loved, and kind of reject some of my influences that were coming in
Right.
that weren't helping. And
Yeah. So was it almost like a study to see like what stuck or what you liked about those certain fandoms? Um,
exactly, exactly.
Gotcha.
And if you take the right amount from each of those, and
Hmm.
you let it go through your mind, and you digest it, and then you let it come back out, you regurgitate it, out onto the page, and the first 1,000 tries, it's probably not going to be there. But then one
Mhm.
day, all of a sudden, you're like, "Oh, this is what I was going for," and
Right.
that's what happened with this character. And
That's
also, another thing, he was always like, "Go back to when you were a kid and think about the things that you got excited about as a kid, like the stuff that it there was no real influence on you to like this stuff. You just kind of liked it for it,
right.
you know, and
For sure, man. Yeah. It's those things they stick with you in your adulthood, and then you look back and you go, well, why did I like it?
yeah,
Or you just go back to rewatching and go, yeah, this was amazing. And then you break it down because now you have the brain to do that. You could
exactly,
dissect what was cool, what you like about it, and then how you could use that kind of similar, not recipe, but those influences, how you could apply it to your projects. No, I totally know what you're talking about.
exactly. And,
Um, yeah, because I've done the same thing with my projects as well. There's certain things that I enjoyed if it was in horror, if it was in animation, and and I kind of, I did my own mix and obviously I have my own story I'm going to tell, but
yeah,
um, yeah, it comes out, and it's part of you, those influences that you've
exactly.
had in life,
And
which is very, very cool.
you can really see it in other artists when they're doing something that's genuine and like straight from the heart, and it's real to them, and it's a passion to them, because you look at it and it's not just the technical level of it or anything like that. Like there's this I don't know, it's this feeling that you get when you see something that someone put a lot of time in and effort and passion, and it just makes, like, you're like, obviously this is good. Like, this person
Oh yeah,
is really into this project, and I that goes a long way. And it's hard to talk like this with when I go on streams with writers and stuff like that, because
hmm
it does translate to writing and stuff like that, but uh, with
well, it's
another
storytelling.
artist, you know,
Yeah, yeah, because it's storytelling. If you're writing it, if you're doing the artwork, they're different versions of it. I mean, that's why comic book, that format, this medium, is so amazing and awesome because
it,
it's the collaboration between the writer and the artist. Depending
yeah,
on the situation, and
mhm,
because I mean it's always cool to do this thing anyway. I've always enjoyed it as a kid,
yeah,
um, and then like the behind the scenes stuff. So like when I started learning more about it,
mhm,
how to make comics, what went into it. Um, when you pick up on that kind of thing, and then your influences branch out to more than comic books. If it's painting, animation, film, all
yeah,
that stuff applies. I think that's why that this nerd culture that we're in right now, or whatever people want to call it, all the fandoms. I think that's why they're really taken off the proper way.
yeah.
It's because it's being more accepted by the mainstream now.
It is,
You know.
and I I always like comics, like, basically for the art. As a kid, I
hmm
grew up, like, when I was like 12 or 13, at the comic book store. As soon as everyone says this in Comicsgate, they're like, as soon as Image hit, they're blown away, because most of us were kids then, or we were young enough that when Image came on the scene, it just took it to another level. Like,
Oh,
as
it
far
really did.
yeah, the more than anything, the energy on the
hmm
page that you would see. I
Right.
mean, I've done my fair share of, making fun of Liefeld's work at times and stuff, and he can't draw feet and all that, and his anatomy blows. But the one thing he did have was energy on the page, and every cover he did, there's just so much. There's a lot of energy in it, and it spoke to
Yep.
kids, and that's what
Oh,
really got me.
it really did. It really well, yeah. And going back to, if you look at all that stuff from those guys who they worked at Marvel, and then they went over and they did Image, they created it. The reasons
Mhm.
why they were behind it. I mean, that's why a lot of people are trying to make the connection between Comicsgate and Image, because it's almost the same thing, but there's more opportunity doing it independently like this, or they're saying that you Comicsgate, and the reasons why, it's because we don't want to go with these labels that are slapped on us, or we have to make this certain group happy. No, we're making books and stories for everyone, and there's enough out there that we could all choose from. If this book doesn't catch someone's fancy, maybe your next one will, or another campaign that's going at the same time. People are going to jump on that one, and that's the cool thing about it. And like you said, there's energy, and that's what's happening now. There's more energy, I think, because you have some people who were or are professionals. Then you have the no names, real noobs that came out of nowhere, and they're blowing people's minds because they have something cool,
Yeah. And I'll go on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, as Comicsgate has gone on, like, I remember, last year, a year and a half ago, whatever, there was, independent books coming out in Comicsgate, and there were some pretty decent ones, but there was quite a few where it, like, the level just wasn't there yet. I mean, for an indie book, it was great, but to compete with professional level comics, it wasn't quite there yet. And now it's like every couple weeks there's a new book coming out that is, it's professional level. Like, the art, the writing's hard to, you can't really gauge too much on the writing until you actually read the book, of course. But as far as storylines go and stuff, I mean, there's a lot of really awesome stuff coming out right now.
Oh, so tell me about it, man. The campaigns that I've been seeing, my jaw's hanging open. I was like, I didn't even know this existed, or, I'm just discovering it from people retweeting. And that's the other cool thing, that it's fans, it's other creators, and it looks like all of us are starting to become friends on top of it. So we're really getting the word out even more, because everyone wants to see each other succeed because of what's happening in the industry. No one wants to read these really bad stories that are happening. No one wants to see the SJW nonsense or whatever is going on or what they're pushing. But real quick, though, I want to say hello again to the chat. We got Adam Post, James Hayes, Hexbox, Hardboiled Entertainment, Indie Dave Comics. I think you know that person.
I've ran into him once or twice. He's kind of a weird. He's always kind of like popping up in my DMs and throwing ideas at me about the book, and I'm like, oh. No, of course, Dave's my writer. He's a great guy. And then we got Rare Logic. Cool. Rare's another awesome backer of mine. And
what? No, like I said, man, I want to thank everyone again for popping up in the chat. You guys and girls are fantastic. Without you guys, it wouldn't be anything. So I'm always super appreciative to everyone who's been supporting and helping everyone. I do want to show my campaigns real quick too.
Yeah, dude.
So I had the Ghostly Manor on Howling Hill. It ended, but I'm going to keep it in demand just for another week or two. Until I get my books in the mail. They should be coming in a couple of days. But I'll be signing them and mailing them out right away. So people are going to be getting this before Halloween. I just want to stress that again.
So how long ago did you do this book then? Did you do the?
Well, the campaign itself has only been open for like 25 days. It was super short because I had just ended City of Venus. I was looking at the calendar. I'm like, I did have this complete. It was completed. My brother Frankie, he's the writer on it. I did all the artwork. It is a kid's book, but again, I changed up my style much for this. I made it into that Disney kind of Pixar feel. But it's a super sweet story. It's done in rhyme. There's only about 1 to 3 panels per page, so I made it simple in case for people if they never really read comics, again, this is for kids
Yeah.
mostly. It's an all ages book. Yeah, I wanted to make sure that anyone could follow it very, very easily. So, but yeah, this whole world, yeah, it took a lot to come up with the designs, the feel, what I was going to go with, but I was very happy with what I did with the colors.
Yeah, no,
You know,
it looks really really good. The first
thanks.
thing I ever did as a freelance artist while I was still in college was a children's color. Um, it, I children's stuff isn't really my thing, but
Hmm.
I needed money, so of
Yeah,
course.
yeah.
And I'm forever grateful to the woman that hired me on to do it, and she's a great writer and stuff. But it's definitely a different beast to take on, and
Oh, it really is. It really
yeah,
is. Because, I mean, there's so many things you have to do really to make it pleasing for kids and for the eye.
yeah,
I mean, there's other elements that put into doing the comic book work that you're going after a certain audience. So yeah, you're gonna have to change up the styles. But I
mm,
mean, I would versatility as well because I've
yeah,
done like some kid book type projects and designs when I'm doing statue work.
yeah,
Some of the concept artwork I've done, for film. Um,
yeah,
but like I wanted to make sure that more fans, they kind of knew what else I could do.
exactly.
So all right, because I'm one of those rare people. I had a bunch of campaigns out this year. Um, this was my fourth one.
Yeah,
So
you've been
I
doing work.
started with, say that again.
I said you were doing work, man. Like
Oh, thanks.
knocking
Yeah,
out
so
14 things.
I started out with a 3-issue comic, Through the Woods, which was like a little ghost story,
Mhm.
ghost/horror story. It has horror elements to it.
Yeah,
But I started out with that. I did it when not many people knew who I was. I didn't know how everything kind of worked
yeah,
in promoting with in crowdfunding.
hmm
So I learned a lot from that campaign. The second one I released was an art book. So that one I wanted to kind of make sure that more people knew about me and the different things I do. So it's comic book, realistic portraits, pinup
yeah,
stuff, everything, and the kitchen sink in those books.
hmm
Then I released City of Venus, which is
which is
to date my biggest campaign. Um,
yeah, that's
yeah, this baby was my passion project for sure.
yeah, you draw
There's
women very well. Like
thanks,
very
brother.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, I
I
mean
like
you're
the curves.
a professional artist. Like there's some I was looking through this before and
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, that's cityscape really awesome.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's been a ton of work. I'm all self-taught as well, so yeah, no, I should have had work with DC and Marvel. A lot of people heard my horror stories with that and what happened.
yeah.
I'm
You
one of
know,
those people who, yeah,
it's
I was painfully screwed over
yeah.
by
I you
by
should
re-
have had work with them. They wouldn't have paid you. They wouldn't have paid you enough for the work you would have produced. Like
thanks, man.
they, they
Uh,
they just wouldn't do
yeah,
that.
and for me, and I always looked at it as their loss. And it
Yeah,
upset me too because all the conventions I've been to over the years, people they wanted, oh, are you working for them? Yeah, what are you doing? And people thought I was already doing Spider-Man or something, and it had never happened because of the scumbags and the behind the scenes politics. That's what
well,
screws a lot of people and their chances.
exactly.
Not, not a lot. Oh, go ahead.
I wouldn't even I never submitted any of my work to any major comic book companies. I The reason why was because I I saw what was going on with Marvel and DC, especially Marvel,
Yeah.
and I was like, I like all these characters I love were slowly being changed into something else, and
Hmm.
I was like, it was always, and I had this emotional attachment to the Major too, because in my mind growing up, I was like, I always my dream is to do a cover or something like that, or do interiors for DC or Marvel or something like that. And as I got older, I was like looking at these people on social media, and I was like, I want nothing to do with these people, like, as coworkers or anything like that. I was like, there's no way I could get along with these people, and it just really soured the
Yeah.
comic book experience for me. And I didn't
Believe
realize.
me,
Yeah, I'm sure.
you know,
I'm sure you can
the
relate.
shit. Oh yeah, the shit that I've seen over the years, um, from actually having interviews and going to both Marvel and DC and and seeing how they treat their own employees. Never mind the people who are looking for work. I've my mouth has just been hanging open at that. I've seen some big name editors uh, just being absolutely unprofessional to people.
Yeah,
It's the saddest thing I've ever fucking seen in my life.
yeah,
And but that's the problem. I always said it. I think that whole they all had a clean house, clean them all out, get proper people in there, people who genuinely care about these characters. Because what's happening right now, they don't. They're using the conventions, the movies, and all that as like they're almost like what they call star fuckers. That they just want to be
exactly.
attacked. Yeah,
That's exactly what
it
you become.
yeah, the after parties, all that shit. It's all like that. They're tainting it all because they're not the real creators of these projects. Or
Yeah,
if they came up with a newer character, flash in the pan typing,
yeah,
then they have these special labels. I told a great story. Um, Robbie Rodriguez.
yeah.
Um,
The butthole.
that he that yeah I was at a con and I saw this family and one of the kids was really upset. She was crying and I asked the father, well, what happened? I said, you're in a convention, shouldn't she be happy?
Yeah,
And he told me that Robbie was being rude. They didn't have enough for a commission from him.
yeah,
I mean, at the least he could have done a little doodle,
yeah.
something. Nothing. He Well, this is what I'm saying is how rude. Oh, you're cutting out a bit. What was
Oh,
that?
am I better now? Am I back in it?
What were you saying?
I was just saying I, how could someone be so full of themselves that they wouldn't just do, you know, a minute, 2 minute sketch for a child? Like,
Oh,
you know, I would do that for a grown man. Like
it,
if and for a
it, ma-
child,
it makes zero sense to me, but it pissed me off so much. I said, well, who was it? Because I didn't know who they were talking about at first, and then they said who it was. Because she goes, her favorite character was a Spider-Gwen, and I happened to have, I had these little prints on my table, but I had one or two bigger ones, and one of the big ones I actually had a Spider-Gwen. So they
Mhm.
were there. I said, hold on a second. I just went in my bag, I took it out, I signed it, and I gave it to her. She lit up like a Christmas tree
Yeah,
because this wasn't some half-ass crappy sketch from Robbie. This was a finished, beautiful piece. That look at the share screen right now. That quality, and
yeah,
and she couldn't believe it. And the father was like, "Oh my god, how much do I owe you?" I said, "No, it's all right. She could have it. I want to have a good experience at a con." And this guy was so nice. We chatted more. Kind of friendly with them. I found out that he's in the army. He was going to be
yeah,
deployed soon. So to do that meant so much not only to her but to him. That at another con, he surprised me. He popped up out of nowhere. He gave me a special coin.
yeah,
Uh, he thanked me again, and then he commissioned me for a couple of pieces, which was like unbelievable. You know,
exactly.
and it wasn't something I was looking for.
It's because you acted as a human there. Like that's like it's not that hard. Like just be nice to people. And
Exactly.
sometimes
And that
you
well
know
that it's something that they don't know how to be. They don't know how to be genuine. They don't know how to act like real people.
no, and that Robbie guy, that's a guy right there that he's never been punched in the face. He's like one of those guys that never had any. He probably never had a lick of difficulty in his life or anything, and he just feels,
Hmm.
you know, he's up on this pedestal, and oh, if you don't have the money to buy this sketch from me, then it's such garbage. I would
It is.
I'm thrilled that people are willing to buy my stuff, and if like all the time I'm like, okay, so and so, I'm going to raffle off a free sketch for you guys. Just because I'm extremely thankful for, my backers and people that help support my goofy book. Like, so yeah,
Oh,
I'm sit
I,
there and
I'm thanking people 24/7. Since because
exactly.
I had a lot of these books, they've already been delivered to people. So when they're coming in, if they want to put it on Twitter or something and tag me, I retweet them immediately or as soon as I see it
Of
and
course,
say thank you.
I
You
always
know,
give every single person that retweets my stuff and promotes my stuff, I message right underneath them. As soon as I see it, if I don't see it, I don't message it. Like, I'm sorry. I try my best. I can't be on Twitter all the time. I got a 9 to 5 job, so and I already got reprimanded for being on my phone too much during that. But yeah, I and I don't even consider it customer service. Like, it's just being a good person. Not even a good person. It's just being a human, just being a person. Like, I
it,
appreciate it, so I'm going to show my thanks to you. And
it's one of those things that when I started getting into the convention scene, I was a little bit more quiet about it because I'm you know how it is. You're working all the time. You're doing drawings. To be out in front of people, and then you have like a crowd around you, or you have to try. You have to start to open up. But I did it pretty quickly anyway, just because of my background. Anyway, I've always been pretty good with people. But I had to get used to doing like drawing in front of people, in front of like crowds and stuff like
yeah,
that. But once I did, then I've had other pros at big shows saying like, how do you have a crowd around your table like that? I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like you didn't work for Marvel DC yet, right? I went, no, but if someone comes over, I'm happy to talk with them, and
yeah,
I could talk about almost any topic with them, as they're looking at my work, or I tell them stories of or why I have a certain piece out there or whatever, and we just start hitting it off. It's like a very friendly environment, but I chat with them as if I know that I've known them for a long time.
yeah,
And over the years, I've become friends with so many fans. It's crazy, and
and
it's not something that you would ever really think of,
yeah,
but it happens.
and also
Which is
work is just up there with everyone at Marvel or D. It's bet. I mean, come on, the stuff that we see coming out of Marvel and DC these days, and it's a real
yeah.
shame DC stooped to this, because DC was always kind of like, I mean, Marvel was the top dog, but DC was always kind of like, the art was always, in my opinion, was always, just a smidgen better, and I maybe I don't know about pay rates or anything like that. I have no idea about pay rates with the major two, but DC always came off as a little better art, in my opinion, or at least
Well, I
more
know.
to my liking.
I know that DC, they would usually take care of artists and writers a little bit better than Marvel. Like, especially if things became like movies or television shows or
Yeah,
something, I think they took care of them more. Marvel never really did. We've seen some of the stories recently too of some of the other creators that have been hurt by them. I know
yeah,
I had done a really cool Ghost Rider piece a few years back because I saw Steve Niles. He wrote something with Gary Frederick, one of the guys who he created one of the versions of Ghost Rider, right? And he was going through some health stuff, and then Marvel decided that they wanted to sue him because they said he tried to copyright the Ghost Rider back then. There was some nonsense. So
yeah.
I did
Where's
this
the
cool
man
piece.
while he's down? Like,
Yeah, that's how disgusting they are. So I did this cool piece for them just as like support. Sent it
yeah,
over. Steve Niles put it all over Facebook. Gary got to see it and his wife. They loved it.
hmm
They wrote me. They said he was all teary eyed about it. and I didn't want anything at all. I just wanted to show my support for an awesome creator. It's something that they won't do. They won't be kind. They won't be nice. They're just fucking nasty, and that's what I can't stand about the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Over here, I've been doing this for about 7 months now. I've made so many cool friends with so many great people, creators, fans who became creators, you name it. And that's one of those things that I really love about all of this. Yeah, there's been some bad here and there, but usually they're weeded out.
Yeah, and yeah, of course, with a movement like this, like this just monstrous independent movement that we've got going on, there's going to be growing pains. There's going to be politics involved. There's going to be people getting upset, and they feel like they're left behind, or they didn't get the right recognition from some of the top artists or pros, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, as an artist, if I'm not getting recognition from some of the higher ups, that means, like, that's not a personal insult. That just means I need to get better. Like that's the stuff that fuels me when I come home from my 9 to 5, and I've got 2 children, a wife, and I got to take care of all that stuff. Once
Mm-hmm.
everyone's in bed at 11, 12 at night, then that's the stuff that fuels me to get better and push as an artist, and
Dude,
to stay humble. Like
100%, 100%, because that's what we have to be. I mean, right now, Logical Gamer, did you see what he wrote? What we're describing. We're real. These people aren't, and he's right. That's why there's so much hatred against the indie scene. It's because we're real people, because we genuinely care about what people think, how fans are being treated. They don't.
Exactly.
They don't care. They just want to stick them up in an alley, give me all your money for our crappy product. No,
exactly.
no. That's not going to work anymore. Sorry.
Not at all.
The product they put out is just pure trash. But I want to say again, though, I know we're having a real good discussion here, but that's why I'm not fully missing what the chat's saying. I'm trying to grab you guys, and I'm putting your quotes up. But yeah, it is that. But you got to care. You got to be genuine. People see it.
That's what we're finding in this community of creators, is these are passion projects. And of course, everyone wants to make money. And, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we've got lives, we've got to support ourselves, our families, and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's like, we're not just going through the motions to create a book. Like, we're sitting here,
of course not.
Putting everything into it, to create something.
Yeah, we're putting our hearts and souls into everything that we're doing, creating something that's cool, that they're going to be proud to own, that they want to give to their kids or somebody, that generational thing. Because that's what comic books, that's what they always were. They were a generational thing. You used to pick them up, read them, and then they're going to be passed down through the family. These books that are on the shelves now, that ain't going to happen.
No. Not.
There's no way those books are gonna. No. And that's the funny thing.
Well, the books that are coming out are okay. So, like, the only recent major 2 books that I kind of gotten into was the new Venom run by Danny Gates, and I was really into. I was really into the book for 4 or 5 issues, and then on Twitter I see him mouthing off and getting a big head and displaying this disgusting personality, and I bailed out on it, like, right then and there. And then apparently it didn't get, like, his book didn't get any better. I wasn't missing out on anything, but that of the hundreds of books that these guys are putting out, that was the only one that kind of grabbed my attention. Mostly because I always loved Venom. Like that was one of my characters, my go-to characters growing up. And now it's like, what, like you're losing sales off of being a total douchebag. Like,
Yeah. But
you
like you
know,
said, their heads are blowing up because of the money that they have behind them and the in office stories and politics that's going on. That's what feeds that nonsense because they're being
exactly.
told to push a certain narrative as well,
Hmm.
and how to treat the fans.
Yeah.
I've heard some awful things by really big names that I'm not going to repeat here, but to see how little that they actually care, that's what turns my stomach. Now, not
Yeah.
all of them. There are a couple of people that I know that I give high praise to all the time.
Yeah.
Some amazing creators who are excellent with fans. Ron Garney, he's still one of my favorites. I've known him through the years as well. He's always cool as shit, man. Anytime you see him at a show, he's super great with people. But I see it, and I've seen it. Like the guys who are kind of mid-level who then become big. It's funny to see what money does to a lot of people, and then you'll
Yeah.
see who's actually genuine out of it, and it's far and few between, which is
Yeah.
sad. But
And
again, when they get to that level, that means they're playing ball with the scumbags.
yeah, of course. And the thing is, like, it used to be like, all right, you want to be a comic writer. Well, that's what you're shooting for, is to be a comic writer. And now that's not the case. It's like we want a TV deal, or we want a movie deal, or
Mhm.
and it's like, why can't you just be happy with what you got? I mean,
Right?
not everyone gets to write for DC or Marvel, and then you get
And,
it, and that's not even enough. Like
yeah.
now it's time to get the movie deal or get the TV deal, and
But on top of it too, these people who have been falling into these slots of writing these cool characters and stuff, to me, it's like even if they had really good ideas, they're being stifled. They won't let them tell a proper story unless they're a crazy huge name or someone who does have that intelligence. It's like
hmm
Robert Hickman. He's fixing and changing the X-Men. Why? Because he's smart enough to do it. I've known him as well from a couple of shows, hung out with him a few times. I got his vibe, but I also heard things from him, and like he wouldn't have gone back to Marvel unless certain things were met. And they gave him a ton of money. One, two, they let him have final say. These horrible editors, they're not allowed to touch his story, and that's the genius about it. And that's why sales took off on that book. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And that's the thing. He's had the opportunity to fix a lot of characters, but why is he in demand? Because he knows what he's doing. He has that passion about it when he does
hmm
jump on these characters. Most of these people don't. Hexbox was saying it as well. They're not creating, they're just being given these IPs. So made them great.
yeah,
It's 100% true, and that's why a lot of these people, they don't care. But
no,
the ones who do, you see it, and you see why those certain stories are still selling or why things are going on. But as soon as they get bored of it, tainted, or if the editors have to step in, that's when they usually jump off these books. They can't keep it going consistently. Why was Chris Claremont? He's such a favorite for so long. He had one of the biggest runs at
yep,
Marvel. Why is it? Because he genuinely gave a shit about every character he worked on, those ones that he created, the stories that he gave us.
hmm
That stuff is going to be remembered. Not something that just came out a couple of days ago, or last year, because there's no substance to any of it. But I think with our
it,
books, there is. With books like Oddity, you
like
know,
it's
City of Beans. I mean, we have stuff, we have new things, we're growing something new, and we're the creators. That's why the passion is there. That's why we give a shit.
hmm
That's why we're going to keep pushing. The
exactly.
artwork's is just going to keep elevating. The story's going to keep elevating. More fans are going to pick up everything. And that's what we're doing, man. We're creating something special again.
No, I definitely see that with every project that's coming out. People are giving it their best, and sometimes the books don't get funded, they don't reach their goal, whatever. But then they come back and they come back stronger because they thoroughly enjoy this craft and
Mm-hmm.
they want to make something of it. And that's it kills me when I see passionate creators not hit their mark and stuff like that. Like
Oh, I
that
know.
it really sucks.
Yeah, because
And
that's the one. Well, it's the one thing I know that we need. We need more eyes on us, and that's the thing that like to grow is tough. That's why anytime like John Malin, Ethan Van Sciver, when they help us out or showcase us, it's a huge thing. It's a very huge thing. You've seen, they've helped creators who are just about to close or didn't reach it, but their projects are so damn good. As soon as they pop up on the streams, why are they pulling in all that money? It's because people finally got to see it. They didn't know about it. And that's the one thing that we have to try to figure out better too, is how to get more exposure, I think, for everybody. But that's why Twitter and these streams are very, very helpful. That's the one thing I wanted to say too.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
I sold a book just on the with you, and
oh, awesome.
yeah, it really is about getting eyes on you, and not only selling your book, but selling yourself,
Yep.
and letting people know the type of person you are and stuff. And
Yeah.
I think that goes a really long way. And
Dude, I agree 100%. Oh, I had a question over here. How long will City of Venus be open for purchase? City of Venus, I'm going to have it open definitely into 2020. So, yeah, definitely for a few more months at least. Again, I have a couple of other projects that are going to be popping up soon. I'm re-releasing Through the Woods as a collected edition. I'm going to do special covers. I'm going to throw in some bonuses here and there. But I'm going to start to develop out that campaign in the next couple of months. But I want to launch that one in early 2020. After that, I have this amazing pirate story I've been working on for a very long time. I'm going to start pushing that after, and then back to City of Venus. So yeah, no, there's a lot of cool stuff happening. Lots of good stories. And you guys supporting us all is a huge thing, because that means I don't have to take on all the different freelance jobs I've been doing. I could cut back a little bit and focus more on getting my company off the ground, my projects. Because again, I need to take a little bit of a break to get more work done, because I've been doing this 7 months straight, and I'm burning that candle at both ends.
Yep.
you know.
Yeah, like my 9 to 5 job is I do digital sculpting, and I work with all sorts of licenses. I've worked with DC, Marvel. I've worked with pretty much every major anime out there, which is DC and Marvel are actually very easy to work with.
Yeah, I've worked
The
with them as well.
Japanese, yeah, the Japanese are difficult. They
Oh my god, yeah, because if especially if it's their characters, they are more than specific with what they want. Especially if it's like an anime style or whatever. Oh yeah, because I used to work with my brother. Not the writer of these it was a different one. Yeah, we done stuff for Diamond Select, Randy Bowen, a bunch of different places, but through something like Diamond Select, they have what do you call it? IP rights to make statues and stuff of all different projects. And those ones that came in that were like Asian related, Japanese, or from China, they were very, very strict on what they wanted. And they weren't shy in telling you.
Yeah. Oh no, they're very blunt about it. Oh
yeah, they don't give. Yeah.
Me and the other sculptor have had some pretty harsh criticism thrown our way. It's a part of it. Like, you can't take anything personally.
Right. But
Yeah.
again, you got to think it's their characters, it's their property. So yeah, they have all the right in the world to be very mean if they want. But
So
yeah, no.
I was going
Oh,
to say, you did quite a bit of work with McFarlane, right?
yeah, I was the lead designer at his toy company.
That is absolutely insane.
Yeah,
Like,
that place was absolutely insane. I
was
might
it?
have to do I might have to do a full stream talking about that and some of the experiences because, yeah, like I started working there like right out of high school. Sent the
What?
yeah,
Like,
sent the
right
part
out?
pretty much. I think
That,
I took like a half a year off. But yeah, my brother was doing some work with Art Asylum. I don't know if people remember them, but yeah, after that, we decided we were going to get a portfolio set up, and we had sent it out, and we went up for interviews, and we stayed there. We ended up working there, nonstop. But it was definitely a very crazy time. While we were there, 9/11 happened,
yeah.
and there was stuff that nobody really knew unless you were in the tri-state area. Um,
hmm
they were keeping a lot of things out of the news about how some people were acting towards one another. But yeah, it was weird. It felt like you were in Bizarro World. But we're actually working at McFarlane itself. Um, the best way to describe it, it felt like a Mr. Rogers field trip that then you took acid somewhere in the middle of being on this field trip. Because some of the characters working there, and then you're hearing the stories of, not to shine any bad light on Todd. It was mostly the two brothers who were running this place. They weren't the best of people, and
Yeah.
they were obviously disgruntled employees working there. Todd never wanted to really visit New Jersey. He didn't like it because you weren't in the city. We were up in the sticks. So it wasn't the best of places to be.
Yeah.
There was really like nothing there for lunch. Like there was maybe 3 different places you could go to. And that's about it. Yeah, it was kind of strange, but I did crazy traveling because like there was no place to even rent. So like, for the first 6 months while I was working there, we were commuting from New York in Queens out to Jersey, and that was like almost like a 3-hour trip.
Oh my
Um,
god.
oh, it was insane. And then going back was about the same, except for the weekends. You're going into anywhere from Thursday into Saturday. If we had to work on Saturday, you would be trapped like in the tunnel for hours and hours on end. It was ridiculous. The traffic was insane. So I mean, you really had to give a shit what you were doing. We were there because we wanted to make cool shit. We wanted to keep that quality going. And that's the one thing that he knew too, and the people working there is if you're there because you want to, keep raising the bar. Because while we were there, I mean, the level of detail and stuff that was coming out, the things I got to work on, holy shit, man.
Yeah. And that was probably before digital came into place, right? So
Yes, I remember they
you
were
guys were.
trying. Well, at the time, it was just Gentle Giant that they had a real scan machine, and I know that they kept doing like, well, towards the last couple of months I was working there, they were trying to push it. Like the guy in the mold shop, he was really trying to push the real scan because he didn't want to deal with the sculptors anymore, which is insane, absolutely insane. Because the sculptors, they're the ones who put that extra work in, or they can figure out how to hide a joint properly. If you're doing real scan, you still need people in there to clean it up, especially back then. Things are still a mess,
Of course. Yeah.
I remember.
Now it's much easier. Like, you scan it, you get sculptor or digital sculptors in there, and they can manipulate anything with in minutes. It makes it so much easier. Now, did you work on any of the Egyptian line? because I know you were there, what, until like 2003, 4, something like that?
Well, it was about a year and a half, almost two, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was around 9/11 to, I can't, right off the top of my head, I can't really remember the date. But the stuff I did was the Spawn Viking Age, the Dark Age Viking line.
Yeah.
It had a horse. It was like the full six figures and a horse. At the time, KB Toys was still around, so we did special versions for KB. So every figure you could buy them fucking twice essentially. They had either a different sculpt for a head altogether, brand new paint job. There's a lot of cool different stuff. But I was responsible for bringing the Tortured Souls 2. With Clive Barker. Yeah, because Todd didn't really want to do them anymore because he's like, why do we have to pay a license again for this guy? He goes, it's not Hellraiser. We don't really know. But then he actually came for one of the toy fairs, and he would come after hours, so he didn't really have to deal with anybody just in case. I mean, he was kind of quirky like that, but he did see my work sitting on the table, and I had a really sick, twisted one. Of the guy who's got like his arms are all stretched out. He's got one leg is amputated. He's all opened up in the middle. It was really, really grotesque. And he walked by and he goes, "You got some sick fucks working in here." He goes, "You know what? Let's do it. I like this." So I got to design it. Say that again?
Who did that come? Who said that?
Todd. Yeah, he straight up. He walked past. He saw the work. He's like, "You got some sick fucks working in here. Let's do it. I like it." So, like, I had 3 figures out of that line. Was designed by me. The other 3 were designed by one of my friends who was working in there. But there was one figure that was supposed to be made, and they didn't have the balls to do it, and it drove me insane. I mean, because with the crazy shit that we were almost allowed to go as gross as we wanted, but without showing genitalia. But I had these 2 girls, these 2 women, sewn together. They were like in an embrace, so they were on their knees, but they were like face to face, chest to chest kind of thing, and they were stitched together. And then I put some other like gruesome things on it, but for the most part, that's what it was. It was a beautiful statue. They were sculptors who were fighting that they wanted to sculpt it as soon as it got approval. It never got approval because those 2 brothers, they were so scared that no, it's too sexualized. They won't let us do it. And I did different versions of it. I did a joke version of it where they said, okay, not 2 girls, we'll do a guy and a girl. But then it's too suggestive. So I cut them in half and I put them on their hands. It almost looked like a dog, but both one end was the male, one end was the female. It was kind of hilarious, but that almost actually got made. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" But they were afraid to do a lesbian angle thing. I'm like, that's ridiculous. I'm like, Clive Barker's gay to begin with. People know that. I don't understand why this can't be made. But whatever. They didn't have the sack to do it. And then I know they turned one of them into Dorothy when they did their Twisted Wizard of Oz line. So yeah, they stood up one of the girls that I had, and then they put like a gimp mask on her, and they put the hands were tied behind the back, and it became a Dorothy. Which I heard. Funny story. I heard when I was hanging out with Capullo that they had sent him over like a life-size version of that back before he's with his wife, right? Well, his current wife at the moment. Which I thought was funny because they said he was kind of like he was a little bit down here and there. He went through some personal stuff, but they sent it to him to cheer him up, and he absolutely fucking loved it. I never got to see it. I don't know how big it was, but the rumor was that it was life size. I was like, holy shit.
I always enjoyed Kapula though. He always seemed like a real dude. Whatever.
He's great.
I have to.
I was going to say,
Sorry,
I love.
go on. Sorry.
Sorry, I know the timing get a little screwed up. You were saying?
I was just going to call out Peter here in the chat. He asked if the Odd Army tier is going to be signed. As of now, we don't have anything being signed. But if you want that tier and you want them signed, just shoot me a DM. I will sign them for you, buddy. Like that's
Nice.
it's very very easy for me to do. No big issue. If you want them, get them, and
We
I'll
we
contact you.
we could definitely
Sign
go
them
over
off.
the we could definitely go over the tiers as well. But I was just gonna say though, before we jump into it, Greg is a great guy. Greg Capul is fantastic. Him and his wife Jamie, very cool. If you ever get a chance to see him at a convention, stop by. Greg's an awesome dude for sure. He's given me a couple of cool pieces too. I still got to find one. Real quick before we get into the tiers, he did one of the conventions we were at down here in Florida. It was like an exclusive. He did a Spawn exclusive. I think it was a Wizard show. But he did an exclusive for the show, and he gave me one of the copies. But he personalized it, and like he was hiding it from everyone. His wife's like, "What are you doing?" And he was laughing like a little kid, like that he did something wrong. He's giggling. He's got his whole arm covering up the piece, and the wife goes, "What are you doing? You're doing something dirty, aren't you?" So she kept hitting him. He hands it over to me. It says, "Vinny, you draw some of the hottest women I've ever seen. I beat off to it regularly." I was like, "Holy shit!" I was not expecting that.
That's too funny.
I gotta find where I put that piece. I'll definitely put it up once I can find it. And mine was buried somewhere in my garage.
He just seems like a real dude, though. Like
dude. Yeah. Oh, he's fantastic. But so let's jump on your tiers because I know we're going over now. I didn't even realize how long we've been chatting for.
Can you give me 1 second? I need to run upstairs just for a second. I know it's going to be awkward.
Yeah, no problem.
Tiers go over it real quick. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I'll jump on my project when you get back. We'll jump on the tiers.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I'll be right back, man.
Very good, man. All right, so I just want to go over one more time with Ghostly Manor. Let me shoot back up to the top. This is a kid book. It ended, but I'm going to keep it in demand just for another week or two. As soon as I get the books, they're being mailed out. This is for Halloween. It's the only time you're going to catch me doing something that's this kid friendly. But I had a lot of fun with it. I might bring it out again. It's going to be retired for a while, but I might bring it again next year or maybe the year after for those who missed out. So if you do want it, please jump on it as soon as possible. Again, before Halloween, I am ending this for sure. Don't know if it's going to be a week or two that I'll keep it open for. But yeah, it's definitely it's a fun book, cartoony style, lots of cool stuff happening. I think you guys will dig it. Read it to your kids, nieces, nephews. If you're a teacher, I would buy a couple of them for the class. It's very cool. It does teach a little bit of a lesson, but it's nothing that's crammed down your throat. It's definitely a fun tale. It's all in rhyme. My brother Frank, he did all the artwork. So that's the Ghostly Manor on Howling Hill. City of Venus is still in demand. These, if you back it, I'd pretty much mail them out either the same day or the following day. Again, one of my bigger campaigns. Lots of cool stuff with this one. I have an exclusive tier for this campaign, which is the volume 2 of my art book. It's a 52-page art book. Has all kinds of great stuff in there. Superhero, realistic, everything you can imagine is in there. Lots of cool stuff. But yeah, I got a bunch of different tiers and perks as well. Original is with these tiers. Just click on and get a good look. But essentially for this one, it is a signed copy of issue 1 plus the art book and a head sketch. I still have plenty of those available. The one that has both art books, volume 1 and volume 2, and City of Venus, and you get the head sketch. It's 150. I only have about 7 of those available left. But this is the quality of sketch you get. So it's not really a head sketch. It's more of a highly detailed drawing. So, yeah, I would jump on that.
Definitely worth jumping on that. Because that's not a sketch. That is, that is a very well rendered drawing right there. So
thanks, brother.
It's definitely worth it.
Let me say real quick. I want to say hi to Red Gaze in the chat. Hey, buddy. Yeah, there's plenty of good stuff to get. But we're going to jump back on Oddity so we could cover the tiers on that. Yeah, am I missing anything here? Yeah, if you catch anything too, Sweens, just let me know if there's any questions, and I'll pop it up. But yeah, you could. Well, you went over the featured tier, so if you want to drop down to the digital copy for $10, I think it's self-explanatory.
Yeah, and we got
double download.
A lot of people are kind of weary about doing the digital downloads because they think of pirating and stuff like that. So I pushed back with the digitals back a month after the physical copies get mailed out. It's not going to curve anything in all reality. Like if people want to scan it and put it up online for free, that's going to happen. But just a little something to deter it a bit. But the people get excited about EVS's cover and stuff like that, and him drawing on it. So
right, cool. There's one thing I saw that I want to just address real quickly. Hardboiled Entertainment. He said, Vinny, if you sign your stuff, please don't write over the women. Trust me, I will not. I will never do that. I'll always find a different place and I'll sign over that instead. Yeah, I never draw on top of the characters. I never sign on top of the character.
On your name on the boob, right?
Only in person.
Right?
But yeah, so we'll get to the book. Sweens cover, $25. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
it's a 48-page book.
That. And with our books, we include a pinup as well, and it's the pinup of him jumping. Whatever, people seem to really like that image, and I got a lot of requests online to have that, as a pinup. So I threw it in there, and we've got on this campaign, like if you back the 25, this pinup, you're getting a pinup from Sashi, which is probably at the bottom of the campaign, whatever, which is awesome. I mean, she does some really awesome work, and then you'll get a pinup from my buddy Matt Houston, who is was a artist for Cartoon Network, and he was an artist for Adventure Time. And
awesome! Yeah,
he did his interpretation of Oddity. If you scroll down to the bottom, you'll see his pinup. It's pretty sweet. He did a that one right there. That's Sashi at the bottom, and then that's Matt Houston. So there'll be pinups of both these guys, and she did I love that. She did a great job. She did her own little. When I hire other artists to do pinups and stuff like that, I tend to gravitate towards artists that don't look like my style. I want
Hmm.
other eyes to gravitate towards the book, and I wanted something else. Like, I
Oh
could
yeah,
draw in this pose and all that, but it's not going to look like this, and it's not going to have this feel. This is this
exactly.
artist, you know, voice on it, and it's great. Like, I would have never done the cutesy little Oddity chilling in her boobs.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it,
I love it.
it,
Yeah.
yeah, it's a great take on it, and so those are all pinups that'll be included on that tier, and um,
Yeah. Yeah.
farther
We go back up.
bookmarks,
Well,
stuff like that. But yeah, let's go back
yeah.
up.
I'll slide back down. Let me just keep hitting the perks you had here. All right. So we did that one. The
So
home sweet home tier.
yeah, so for the people that that bought the original cover, this is like a weekend tier that we put up. It's kind of like the weekend getaway, and this cover is people really gravitated towards this trailer up in the tree. Like
Hmm.
people really tend to love that, and they asked for it to be a cover. So we're like, you know what? If fans, I hate saying fans, if supporters want
Hmm.
as a cover, then we'll do
Yeah.
that as
Give
a
it to 'em,
cover. And
for sure.
yeah, so it was an add-on for that tier, and or for the original tier, and now you'll get two books, and you'll get both these covers, and
That's really
it's
cool.
kind of a
Oh,
fun little fiction.
uh, I did see something here. That pinup is totally unrealistic. Since when is a blue hair a total hottie? I have an
Got
argument too on that.
400 pounds. That's
Right. Actually, one of my good friends, she was a wrestler. She did some stuff with what was it? The WWE. Their was
hmm
it their Nexus thing, or whatever. And now
yeah.
she's over at AEW. She was known as Blue Pants, and she had blue hair for a very long time as well. So yeah, they're
hmm
out there with blue hair. It's not all those cretins that we've seen, or that
Yeah,
one in particular.
exactly.
But
Exactly. Yeah, that
so yeah,
in the story that's Paige, and Paige is everything that Renthimus would want to be.
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's funny shit. All right, so for 35, the EVS cover.
Yeah, that'll be the jam cover that we're working on. And
Nice.
I hate busting up the price on it, but I had to because I have to pay him. Like I got
Yeah,
I gotta pay for this for the cover. And there was no one complained about that. I think most people understand that's kind of like what you
right.
get. Like, you
Yeah,
know.
totally. Yeah,
Mhm,
you gotta open up the wallet. uh, so for 50, you get both covers, EVS's and
mhm.
yours, which is awesome. Standard
Yeah,
cover.
it's a little price break there on the
Yeah.
covers, and
Oh, totally. For two. Yeah, that is a good thing. Then we have the book and a sketch for
yeah,
70.
and yeah, and like your sketches, like
Yeah.
I have a problem with doing the sketches because like I'll do the sketch and then I just keep working on it until Dave, my writer, is like, "That's not a sketch anymore. Like that's a fully inked, like cleaned up drawing." And I'm like, "I know, like, and it happens, whatever." But yeah, I enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
So
No, that's it. You want to give them more. All right.
yeah,
I'm all
and
in. The
the
ace
all in
tier.
everything, and that includes the sculpture. And we did have the sculpt as its own tier at one point with the book, of course, and all that. And then, but we threw it all into the all in tier. And if anyone wants that, like, that's how you get it. Like, it's all there and you get
That's cool.
everything. Yeah.
That is a good thing. That piece is really wild. I like it.
Oh, the
It's really
sculpture?
nice.
Or
Oh yeah,
yeah,
yeah. Sure thing
yeah.
is badass.
I worked with
Dude,
I'm working with a printer, um, and I had the sculpt pretty simple, and he's like, "We can take this farther," and I'm like, "How far do you want to take it?" Because originally I didn't have his tongue in there, and he was in a pretty symmetrical pose, and he was on
mhm.
like a real basic flat base, whatever, and he's like,
Right.
you know, "We can take it farther than that," and he threw the numbers at me price wise, and he knows what he's doing, so I was like, let's do it. And so
Beautiful.
it'll come in pieces, so there'll be assembly required, and then you fit it together, and the tongue will be able to be removed from his mouth and stuff. So yeah, it
Mhm.
was it was a lot of work, but
Nice.
it's a sweet little piece, kind of fun.
How big is it?
It would be roughly 6 inches tall, 5, 6 inches
Oh,
tall. So
that's good. That's a
that's
good size.
yeah. It's not going to be some cheap little figurine, whatever. Like it's going to be pretty sweet. I'm excited about it. Like
Excellent.
yeah,
Dude, yeah, I like it. That's very cool.
and so yeah, and then we got the original art pages, which I do everything digitally, but um, I can. What I'll do is I'll print out my original inks in blue line, and I'll ink those traditionally, and then I'll rescan those and everything, and those are what will be put into the book finally. But I wanted to give people the option. I don't know why it says only one of 8 claimed, because there is quite a few more than one claim. I think we might have messed around with this tier a little bit, but yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if people want that, I'll bust those out for them. So and then
Nice. Cool.
this was just put up today. So this
It's a
was up
very good
for
cover.
the inks for this. So yeah,
Oh, okay.
it's not the image of the inks, but it will
Mhm.
be the ink for this tier, and the covers go pretty quick. So I just put this up a few hours ago. So we'll see if it gets
Okay.
picked up
Awesome.
quickly, or because yeah, that's the cover that people seem to really enjoy. So
Beautiful.
there-
Beautiful.
and then
Nice. Yeah, there's the
being the
Sashi
book,
piece.
yeah, the Sasha piece. Yep.
Well, these tiers are sold out, so there's no need to even go over them. All I gotta say is
Yeah.
congrats.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the original cover that went in a few days, and some lucky guy from Saudi Arabia is getting that.
Oh
Probably some
wow.
prince. He's probably got you know plenty of oil money or something. I don't know, but he hopped on that pretty quick, and then he bought quite a few books and stuff. So that was nice.
I think I might know who you're talking about because I had someone from Saudi Arabia buy for me a couple of times as well. But
Yeah,
yeah, that's awesome. Very
dude's
cool. All right.
crazy. Like yeah, and then
Crazy awesome.
yeah, crazy awesome. Of course.
All right.
Yeah,
Sorry,
then we got I'll
you
go
were
on.
talking about the bookmarks.
Yeah, people, bookmarks they're something easy, you know, and relatively inexpensive to put in there. So, of course, we'll have some bookmarks in there, and uh,
Beautiful.
then and then the trading cards. The trading cards will we had it at 15K. We need to update this because I'm moving it to 12K. Even
Okay.
though I'd probably lose some money on moving them up that quick, but uh, people like trading cards, and you know, you give people what they want. So
Excellent. You
that's
need
how
to you need
we do it.
you need to have one of the trading cards needs to be boobs because apparently the chat loves boobs.
All they want, all they want are boobs. And
Oh,
any chance of an Oddity Cyberfrog crossover comic? You'd have to talk to EVS about that. I mean, of course, I'd be all about that. We do have the crossover cover coming.
beautiful.
You know, we're jamming on that together, and that would be. I still can't believe he offered that to me. That is like, that blew
That
me
is really
away.
that is really cool because he had made a mention about mine, but then I think he totally forgot. It was one of his chats where he goes, "Nobody asked me to do a cover." I said, "Ethan, I would love for you to do a cover." He's like, "Yeah, that would be great." And then he kind of made a joke about something and pricing, and then
Yep.
the chat made it naughty. So that was the last we had talked about it though. But I would have loved to have gotten him to do a cover.
Yeah,
Maybe
of
on the
course.
next project, right?
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I don't
that
know
is.
how.
I was gonna say it's
I
totally
can.
awesome that you got him.
Well, I didn't ask them at all. I supporters started tagging them in it, like tagging
That's
them in my work. They're like, "You guys got to do a cover together, or let Sweens use Cyberfrog in a cover." And he was like, "Absolutely." And I heard that, and I was like, dude's busy. Who knows if it'll
yeah.
ever happen or anything. And then he mentioned it on the stream. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm going to do this cover with Sweens." And I was like, "What? Like, are you serious?" Well, first I sent him a DM, and I was like, "Oh, I really appreciate you letting me." This is before I got into his chat and all that stuff. And I was like, "Really
Right.
appreciate you letting me use your character and stuff. Are you sure this is cool?" And then he came back to me, and he's like, "How about I draw my character and you draw yours?" And I was like, "Are like,
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 hold on, hold on, I need to faint first.
yeah, exactly." And
That's
and then he just kept mentioning it on his stream, and I was like, "Well, I guess we're going to do it." And then I talked to my writer and stuff while we were doing the campaign, and I was like, "You think I should put it up on the campaign?" And he's like, "Absolutely." So I
sure.
did it. Yeah, and then he went over my campaign one day on his stream, and that was probably my most successful day. Um,
Awesome.
like as far
Very
as
cool.
the campaign and stuff, like
Yeah,
we a bunch of sales that day, and he was
that's
looking over it.
awesome.
Yeah, and I had pictures of him as a human sunbeam. I didn't ask him if I could do that or not. I was like, it's better to, ask for forgiveness, permission,
Yeah.
whatever. So I just went about
Oh
it that
shit.
way.
Yeah, no, I love
So,
it.
but it was so funny because he's going through the campaign, he's going over all the tears and stuff, and he sees these images of his face on him, and he says nothing about it. And like, it
It's
didn't
given.
it didn't phase him at all. He's like,
For sure.
he's seen so many things with his face, photoshopped on, and like, it was
Oh,
like,
I know. I've done a couple of drawings as well. I mean, earlier when I was doing Through the Woods, I had done him as Caesar
yeah,
with the sun. Uh, but he's always cool about that stuff, which I'm
oh
glad.
yeah, like some people might have freaked out about it. Be like, what is my face doing on here, or whatever. But no, he's
Yeah, but he knows
cool.
how it is, especially before campaign and everything too. Those guys are just absolutely they're pure madness. I love them.
Oh yeah, I went on their show. I went on their show, and it was so bad while I was on there that they couldn't post it up right afterwards. They had to have it censored.
Yeah, I was. I listened in on that one too. Um, I had done them. I did back-to-back shows with them. They said I was the only artist who did shows on War Campaign. And that's when they labeled me the Boner King as well because Ro couldn't get it. He couldn't get enough of my lady work, and he kept going. Huh?
He couldn't get it up for your lady work? Or he
Yeah, the chicks that I draw.
Oh, so
He kept.
his
Yeah, he
hands
was.
were constantly under his desk. Like,
He drifted off so many times that Pan and Gat were like, "Yo, what are you doing?" He's like, I can't believe it." He's, "Look at these hot, big Jesus." He's just going, which was just absolutely hilarious. And then
yeah,
afterwards, afterwards we chatted even more, which was even funnier. But yeah, I'm not gonna say that on air.
yeah. Oh no, when you actually chat to them off air, it's really funny because they're like they really are like very nice guys. Like
Oh, they are.
you know,
They really are.
they put on a show, and it is performance art what they do. Like they're just having fun with
Oh,
everything,
totally,
and
man.
I they've gone after people that I really like and I'm friends with and stuff like that, and
Yeah,
you know I don't hold that against them and anything like that. Like it's completely, that's their thing, whatever. Like we're all adults here, and we're all trying to run.
exactly. That's what I
Exactly.
mean.
We're all,
Again,
I go on.
what
I'm sorry.
my personal views on the people who are kind of fighting with them and whatever. Everyone knows who they are with their scheming and scamming. Uh, those those particular people, I think those are the ones who are scheming and scamming. If you got to keep bringing it up all the time, you keep fighting with
Yeah,
War Campaign, you keep fighting with other CG creators who are vocal against
yeah.
SJWs and all that. I'm sorry. There's something else going on there that's very odd. If you don't want to be harassed by War Campaign, then stop fighting with them every day. Ignore them.
I
Move on.
I
But
mean they on the show they were like kind of digging into my writer because Dave was on. I guess they knew he was on Doug TenNaples' show, whatever. And you know, Dave, like Dave's cool with Doug, and Dave's cool with Ethan, and like Doug and Ethan went at it, whatever. I mean, but it's business, and it's trying to get more eyes on it. And they kind of dug into Dave a little bit, and Dave was he's a soldier about that stuff. He's like, look,
yeah, yeah,
I'm writing a book that's, you know, very comedic and funny and stuff. He's like, if people are going to sit there and yeah, it was light ribbing at best. Yeah,
yeah.
that's what it was. Other people would take it the other way and be like,
Yeah, it's like we were saying, the people who keep taking it the other way and they keep blowing it up. That's what makes them keep going after them. But you know
oh
what?
yeah,
Uh, it's like that certain person who doesn't partake, quote unquote, doesn't partake in what drugs. Um,
yeah,
he keeps fighting on a daily basis. Now, if he's doing that, it's because they want to put bad light on CG. They don't want CG. That's what my view is from looking at them on an outside level. If you keep fighting with them, that means you're trying to bring bad attention. Now, why are you trying to do that? That means that they're trying to take CG down. To me,
they're
it's dirty, cheap tactics. For however, if he's ass hurt or if other people are as well, that was their own doing. I think everyone in this group of people that have been doing these live streams nonstop, retweeting people nonstop, we're all on the same page. You know what I mean? And I think we're keeping the friendly atmosphere, and that's what you have to do. Those other people, I choose to ignore them in their nonsense because I don't know where they're going with it. Nobody does.
I
But
exactly. And the funny thing is, everyone freaks out about Twitter being a cesspool and stuff like that. And in some regards, it is, but it's kind of like a microcosm of your own life. Like,
right,
if you want the drama, you can find it. But
yeah,
if you don't want it, like, it doesn't magically just show up on your doorstep. Because I haven't dealt with it at all. And maybe that's an invitation now that I said that. Like, maybe tomorrow I'll just get, you know, just attack with all sorts of garbage.
But my thing is, you just keep pushing positivity, and that's it. War campaign, you want to have fun with them? Have fun with them. I do it too. It's great. You know, it's just be yourself. Yourself. Have fun. We're making comics. Huh?
Did they make you do the nipple docs?
No,
Like
my camera actually broke, and I still have to get another one, so I never did yet. But no.
That's why you get yourself up with these hotties, huh?
Well, yeah, no nipple doxing. I keep them busy with my hot chicks. I'm like, hey, bro, here's another hot one.
Exactly. I told a ridiculous story. It was a true story about me cutting a third nipple off my back, and then it was so bizarre and ridiculous, and like the whole time I was like, should I really do this? And then the time came, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. Like, you know, I'm just going to show him a nipple on my back, and it was fake and all, but it was still, you know.
I saw. I was like, oh my god, but
yeah. And then I tried to explain it to my family. Like, I'm telling them about how I went on this show, and you know, I'm gonna explain the whole scenario to them. And the whole time, my family's just looking at me. And I mean, my whole family's crazy people too. But they're just like, so the show wants you to show them your nipples? I'm like, yeah, they're Spartan gay. Like, they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, it's just kind of like their performance art. Like, you know, and my dad's just looking at me like, what did you do, Sean? And I'm like, you just need to watch.
Yeah, they're just internet gay, Dad.
Yeah, don't worry, Dad. There's no real penetration or anything. Like it's
You just assured them that your back hole is safe.
Yeah, you know, now there's a new show. They're kind of like a I don't know, like a spin-off of War Campaign, and they're guys from the UK, and they do this show called Gay Space Communism, and that's funny stuff right there, dude. You need to go on that show. It's they give you like a prompt, like a old comic cartoon to watch or a book to read, and then you go on there, and it's just insane. It's really funny though.
I think I was on a stream with Connie Mark, I believe. Yeah, we were guests on the same stream, I believe, once. But it looks funny. I mean, if they want to have me on, yeah, I'd love to do it.
Oh, they'll get you. Sure. They've been getting all of like the big no name, like not that you're a no name, but we're like the smaller tier, I guess. We're not like considered EVS or you know, yeah.
We didn't have the big two.
What's that?
We didn't have work with the big two.
Yeah, exactly. So they're getting all the smaller guys on there, and like they had Wanger on last week. It was their second show, and they got a strike right off the. They got a strike because they were showing scenes from the what was it, X-Men, the comic or the cartoon show.
I heard about that.
Like right off the bat, the mouse came with the hammer and sickle and just struck him down. It's like, I've seen enough of this. It's a fun show.
I gotta reach out or have them reach me, whatever. But yeah, definitely got to do that. But all right, we've been running for a bit now. It's been over an hour and a half, so I just want to kind of wrap it up. So yeah, everybody go back Oddity. Please jump on City Venus as well. I'd like to hit the 12K. We're kind of inching towards that. Again, it's in demand. There's a lot of good perks. I suggest the featured tier, which is the 52-page art book as well. I think you guys will love it. Again, there's pinup stuff in there, superhero stuff, lots of characters and things that you would definitely recognize that I can't really talk about.
Great,
but
great women.
Thanks, man. Yeah, really, really hot women. Got plenty of those in there. But yeah, please support that. And the Ghostly Manor on Howling Hill. That's the only kind of kid-friendly project I have. It's all ages. But yeah, this thing is going to be shipping before Halloween. It's Halloween themed. It's about these three little monsters who are supposed to be doing their chores, but instead they slip out. They go to the nearby village and they partake in Halloween. So they want free candy and stuff. But yeah, it's a very simple story.
But it's also
yeah.
like it's got great design, very good
Thanks,
design.
man. I appreciate it, buddy.
And
Yeah,
we do need more kid-friendly books, you know, within Comic City.
I agree.
We've got a lot of the fan base around here are, you know, their fathers. You know, they're working dads. They, you know, and it's nice to, you know, introduce your children to comics and to you know, fun artwork like this. And you know, you don't have to throw chits in their face, like,
yeah,
you know, you do. But after that,
right.
you know,
there's room for everything and for everyone, and that was a point too of getting this book out there. So like this year, I literally have 7 books that have been, or 6 that have been delivered. This is going to be the 7th, which is pretty amazing. Hold on, here's the. Thanks, buddy. You know, this is the list of books. So it was Through the Woods right out of the gate. It was a 3 issue series. Again, it's going to be relaunched as a collected edition in 2020. But that was the first project. Then I had the Volume 1 art book, which is also still in demand. I also have a link on this page as well, or not this one. I'm sorry, on City of Venus. There's a link for that as well, or you just click my name on the top of the page to look at my other campaigns. You'll find it. City of Venus with the Volume 2 art book, and of course the Ghostly Manor on Howling Hill. So that's a lot of stuff, I think. But yeah, so it's been a crazy year so far, or 7 months or so. I want to say that again.
I said very productive.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, I mean, again, I'm doing this for the love of it, and just to tell stories, man. I love telling stories visually. This is one of the best kind of ways of doing it, through comics, having fun with everybody. But yeah, so support all these projects, please. If you can't, if you can't buy them, at least share them on Twitter. Oddity in demand. City of Venus in demand. The Ghostly Manor Howling Hill. It's in demand, but only for about another week or two. Just so you guys know. If you definitely going to want it for Halloween, great project. But I want to thank my guest again, Sean. You've been fantastic.
Come on, man. It was great talking to you, buddy.
Oh, absolutely, buddy. We're gonna have to do it again. If I do any other streams with a group of other friends and stuff, yeah, you're more than welcome to pop up. And I'll shoot out the link if you want. But yeah, man, it's always great getting to chat with other cool creators about their projects, and yeah, we're all having fun here. So, all right, guys. So,
all right, this chat. You know, I appreciate you guys stopping in and listen to me ramble on about nonsense and books and stuff. So
yeah, we both rambled on a lot, but we also talked about a lot of cool and fun stuff, and that's what I enjoy. I enjoy the great conversations. Yeah, and it's all good. So thanks again, chat. Oh, what was that? Peter, he has He's got a video of City of Venus on his channel. Oh, we're gonna have to take a look at that. Thanks, man. Yeah, I'll check it out after the stream. Cool,
Like and
buddy.
subscribe to Peter,
Yes.
man. Like,
yeah, like and subscribe to Peter's channel. Like and subscribe to my channel, please. I'm
yep.
I'm new to it, but I'm growing more. I do have a couple other videos on my page. Some of them are me drawing and just kind of rambling on about different topics. Some of them I'm venting, but you can find them and take a look. So I get set off sometimes, but for the most part, I like to keep it chill, especially when I have guests on. So thank you again, everyone. And remember, be kind to one another. Peace out.
All right, later, guys.